Welcome to the AC Green Show. Get over to my website, theacgreenshow.com, and get what you need over there. Check out the hair project at the website too. Just go to the site, theacgreenshow.com, and you press the reset button and you can see the hair project information. We're training people how to have their own online hair business. I think that's very important because black women are 70% of the entire hair buying market in America. 70%. That means if black women stop buying the hair, that industry was shut down. The factories will close. Yeah. Got a lot of power, man. Got a lot of leverage in the hair industry. So 6 years ago, the overseas manufacturers, they asked for us. We flew over there and we made the deal with them. They wanted to deal with the AC Green Show because we represent about 1.8 million listeners across Chicago, and black folks. So they wanted to get access to our listening audience so that we could move hair. And what we decided to do is to teach, coach, and train black people how to have their own online hair business. This way, they can bypass the Korean families and the Arab families, and black folks can make the millions that they have been making. It's a $10 billion U.S. industry. So if black women and black men, the black family, if we would get into that industry, we could repair ourselves greatly right there. We're giving that money back. Every time a woman goes into one of those stores that's not owned by us, we're literally participating in our own economic demise, and we shouldn't do that. So anyway, go to my website, theacgreenshow.com, and press the reset button, and you need to be a part of the hair project. It's a big deal. Training a lot of people across the country, in the Chicago area as well. Okay, so look at this. I want to talk about the statues. So you say, hey, what's in a statue? It's a statue. But how do you feel about them tearing down these statues? You see all over the country, they're Robert E. Lee, various Confederate statues and monuments, they're tearing them down. I personally think that's a slippery slope. I do. I think that's a slippery slope because what happens when another group of people decide to tear down statues that you care a whole lot about? What if they came, a whole nother group of folks, and they said they don't like Dr. Martin Luther King's statue in Washington, D.C. And all of a sudden they go to graffitiing Dr. Martin Luther King's statue and monument in Washington, and then taking hammers and bricks and throwing at it and tearing it down. What if that happened? If that happened, it would damn near be a civil war in this country. If a whole nother group, or maybe racist white folks, decided that they were going to go and tear down Dr. Martin Luther King's statue. I think it's a slippery slope that we okay and we're good with. And I'm talking about our community. I think it's a slippery slope that we're okay and we're good with. The tearing down statues. Personally, for me, it's like it's a statue. I would rather teach you the history of that statue and to get you to have an understanding about the non-validity of the statue and keep it there as a remembrance of it, and then to tear it down. See, if you tear it down, you really help them erase their bad history. Wouldn't it be something that all the time they were hoping that we were going to erase their bad history? No, the evidence is right there. Keep it right there, in my opinion. I want to know your opinion too, so I want you to go to comments and let me know what you think about, keeping these statues. If you think we ought to keep the statues, say that. If you think we ought to, get rid of the statues, say that. But I just don't think that I think it's a slippery slope to be cool with the tearing down of statues as opposed to letting the statues stay right there as teachable history. Because you can give whatever narrative you want to give to something. It can be good or it can be bad. The statue can be right there. I don't quite frankly think people pay a whole lot of attention to statues. I just personally don't think they do. But in case you do, then teach your family, teach those around you the facts about the statue and keep it there and let them understand what the statue is. Tearing it down, what is that going to solve? First of all, it's going to erase history. By the way, it was Black history that was erased greatly over many, many years. I say all the time, I did not know 3 Black women were responsible for America getting to the moon, because that history from us was erased. Took me all my life in a movie for me to understand and see that. So I'm just saying that we need to really consider the slippery slope of being okay with the tearing down of statues. Keep them there and teach about it. Taking it away, what is it going to do? Especially if you don't have a good sense of your history or the history of the statue. And what I'm really concerned about is what is going to happen when a group shows up after all the other statues. Because you know how this works, man. In gang-like warfare, when you go into the enemy's camp and take down their stuff, trust me, it's going to come. It's like, back in when high school and college mascots were a big deal. Back in the day when high school and college mascots were a big deal, you would go and steal the opponent's mascot. And you can bet they was going to come and steal yours. So if you take down these statues, just know the day's going to come when they going to come for your statues. And what's going to happen then? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen then. You let them mess with Dr. Martin Luther King's statue or some of these other statues, and you're going to see what's going to happen in this country. You're going to let them graffiti Dr. Martin Luther King's statue or start taking bricks to it, and you're going to see what's going to happen. Yeah, and we don't want to see that day. So I think it's a slippery slope. And you know what, by the way, I was looking at some stuff, and Robert Byrd, who happens to be a Democrat, I don't know if you all remember Robert Byrd, but Robert Byrd, he was, he died some years ago. And, it was a big celebration, and folks, and Barack Obama spoke at, his funeral and a commemoration for him, and all the folks spoke and everybody spoke. This guy was like a leader of the KKK. I want y'all to go revisit this history. This was a few years ago. Robert Byrd, Democrat, was in the Senate or the Congress for damn near all his life. I mean, he spent 60 years there, some crazy number. He died. He died almost, I don't know if he died in office, but he died right after, some years after, if he didn't die while he was in office, he died very shortly after he was out of office, after a trillion years being a congressman or senator. I can't remember which one he was. But go look it up. Robert Byrd. Turns out he was one of the high rankers of the KKK all of that time. Think about it. He's a Democrat. Barack Obama spoke at his whatever. This guy was and he got a statue in the hall. I think it's in the Congressional Hall or whatever. He has a statue there. That statue should come down. If a statue comes down, why is that statue allowed to stand? But at any rate, if you go start taking those statues down. Now it just hit me hard when I revisited this history, because this was a Democrat. Because the thing now is about Democrat, Republican, and Confederate, and taking down history, and Republicans against Democrats, Democrats against Republicans. But it's interesting that those who are taking down statues, who are for the most part espousing Democratic ideology, they're not going after Robert Byrd's statue. And Robert Byrd was a Democrat who died some years ago. And he was celebrated by other Democrats. And as I said, President Barack Obama was one that was celebrating his life. He was a member, high ranking, of the KKK. And nobody has talked about going to get that statue. Yeah, that's why politics, man, I see the huge hypocrisy in politics. And it's like they're trying to lead us around. And when I say us, I say black folks, because black folks are, by and large, the heaviest supporters of democratic politics. When you get to the swing voters, like the LGBTQ, or maybe some of the Hispanic and other groups, they're swing voters. They can swing politically either way. And politics plays to the swing voter because they don't know which way they're going to go. But black voters, by and large, are, we're loyal to the Democratic Party. So we don't move at all. We stay in one place. But it's just interesting that, look up Robert Byrd. Robert Byrd, man, was a KKK, like whatever they call a grand wizard, whatever they call him, and he was a Democrat, and they celebrated him when he died. And he has a statue right now in the halls of Congress, and nobody's talking about taking that down. All right. What do you think about the statue? Should they stay? Should they go? Put that in comments if you would. If you like this video and you want more content like this, thumbs up. If you don't like something I said, you can leave a comment. All opinions are welcome. I just gave you a little of my opinion. I would love it if you would share this video too, and then to make sure that you subscribe and click the bell. I'm talking to my YouTube audience while I'm on the radio. Yes. How you like that? Yeah, I see all my radio folks. Yeah, talking to my YouTube audience too. I love y'all out there, YouTube audience. Anyway, check out our radio shows. I always post a link to where you can catch us on the radio. We play great music, as you all know, and we bring thought-provoking conversation all at the same time. All right. Yeah. I love you all. It's all about community, so we're giving to each other. You're my sister, my brother, and I love you. When you rise, I rise too.
It's all about community, so we're giving to each other. You're my sister, my brother, and I love you. When you rise, I rise too.